Hi everyone, I hope you can all see me and it's recording. I'm going to call I hope everybody can hear me. The sound you hear in the background is the fish tank, and if it's an issue I won't be able to record in here. But I did want to say a few things. Number one, I wanted to update because I am going to start making some videos on here, and I want to kind of like move on from things that are going on to update you guys so I can start making up-to-date videos. I looked back on my account and I noticed that I've only made a few videos that was didn't really update about my personal life and what's going on. I have some heartbreaking news that I have been not wanting to talk about, and it's been very concerning to me. My only daughter, who suffers immensely from medical illnesses, she has mental and physical illnesses, and the last we knew she had borderline personality disorder, and they also questioned if she had schizophrenia, but we had to she needed to see a professional to be diagnosed for that, but unfortunately she moved away before any of that happened. She moved on April 9th, 2018, and I haven't heard physically from her. I've just gotten some nasty messages posted to make sure I would see them, and my heart has been broken, and it's been very difficult to understand what happened, but the one thing that I have understood, that I have a master's in psychology, so I recognize signs and symptoms, and I understand the little ins and outs and stuff like that. So when they told me she had mental illness, it started with OCD at 8, and it got gradually worse. But what I wanted to say was, unfortunately, she believes the narrative that she was mentally and physically abused by us her whole life. And it crushed my heart, because I know part of the stories that she's told and that I've gotten back from has been what's happened to me, and she's just turned that around from what she's heard. And every friend, every family, everybody people that didn't even like us, they always said that we were good parents. So it took me, about 6 months, because for 6 months I was really upset, and I blamed myself. I blamed everything but where the blame fell on. And I finally realized that I cannot make sense out of madness, or you'll go mad trying. And the sad part is she believes this narrative so much that it has interfered with our relationship, and it's sad. 10 days after she left and disowned us, She sent, well, the night she left, she sent us a dramatic, huge text about how she disowned us, and it was really sad to see her state of mind at the time. So 10 days after she left, we lost our dog Maggie, and she was a toy poodle, and we got her in 2010 through Pet Finders. And that dog, I did not want a pet. The only reason why I got a pet was for my daughter, because we were going through some hard times, and the doctor recommended a pet for my daughter. And we ended up getting Maggie, and Maggie attached to me. Maggie communicated with me more, and she was basically my dog. And it upset my daughter a lot, but we just kind of kept it. I didn't say that Maggie's my dog, I never said that. I just, to her, that was her dog, but we all knew that she attached to me. Maggie had a lot of issues, and I took care of her, and 10 days after my daughter left, our dog passed from brain cancer. And that was a very hard and long, drawn out, sad story. And it also was a long, drawn out, sad story because I got sick with MRSA and nearly died. My temp was 105.5. I was in the hospital for 10 days. And when I come home, I was on IV antibiotics for 6 weeks. And I was in a mess. And the dog was so sick, and I didn't realize how sick the dog was. And I kept telling my daughter to feed the dogs, and she said she did, or she would. And I realized when I got better and was able to function, and the IV wasn't attached to me anymore, that the dogs were hardly ever fed. And that really crushed me to know that these dogs were starving under her care. And with Maggie being sick, it just made her worse. And she lost all her bathroom abilities, and she would walk in circles, and she would pace for hours and hours until she just fell over in exhaustion. And finally I was able to take her to the doctor. I got her into the vet, and the vet told us that she had brain cancer, and that all the tests came back normal, but you could tell that she was very ill, by walking in circles and all that stuff. And we had to put her down, and that just really, really devastated me. And I tried to reach out to my daughter and let her know that we had to put Maggie down, and I sent her the test results, but she only focused on the test results of the blood test coming back negative. And the vet said we could spend $800 to get an MRI, but there was no point. She had lost half her body weight. You could see her back muscles, and it was sad. But the day that we took her in to put her down, on the way there, we stopped at a few restaurants and made sure that her belly was full, and that she had pain medicine and she didn't suffer. But I feel like the whole time I was sick, she suffered, and I had to live with as well. So half my family was gone. my daughter became enraged and told everybody that I killed the dog because she left. And because I had no communication with her, I couldn't argue with her. I couldn't say, hey, they're not going to put down a well dog. They don't do that. You know, they don't put down dogs just because the owners leave. And it just, that doesn't happen. But, I was devastated for a while, trying to come to terms with what I should do, and I accepted the fact that she's happy, and any parent knows that that's all you can hope for your children, is that they're happy. I do know that she's living with somebody that she's happy with, and I get little bits and pieces from Facebook. On Mother's Day, I got a nasty note saying Happy Mother's Day to a evil mother that was abusive, and just I know my daughter's sick. I know she's not well, and it's sad because there's nothing I can do about it. We were trying to get her help when she was here, and she would go into the appointment. The doctor would ask her how she was doing, and she'd say, I'm fine. And she wouldn't say what was really wrong. So, anyways, so like she'd take a med for 2 or 3 days, and if it didn't help her right away, it didn't work, so she'd stop taking it. So anyways, she is her own person, and I cannot do anything about it. And the sad part is that I was happy with that. I felt like I resolved that for about a year and a few months. And then this September was her birthday, and 4 days later was my birthday. She turned 22 and I turned 49. And I think the reason why it bothered me so much is because not only do I have an empty house, but I suffer from infertility, and we've been trying to have a child, and we realize that it's not me, that it's my husband from a car accident that he was in, that he's been recuperating from since 2011. He had a huge surgery in February. Hopefully he's got one more left, and it's not going to be that bad. So, but anyways, that's just, we're dealing with his situation, dealing with infertility treatments, not treatments, but we're looking into what we're going to be doing. Those are other videos I want to make, and that's why I wanted to get this part out of the way so everybody's all caught up. So I got really sad. And I started crying, like tears would just come out, and I didn't think I was sad. Tears would start streaming down my face, and I realized I really was sad, and I was really hurt, and I was really upset, and I think it was just a combination of everything. And on top of that, 2 other things in my life is my mom's dying of cancer, and she has Alzheimer's, dementia, and I'm in charge of doing her final arrangements, and that's been very stressful and upsetting, and drama stuff going on with that, and family issues. And then I find out that so I had a lot of traumatic physical and sexual abuse when I was an adolescent. And from the time I was 15 until the time I was 20, I was seeing this counselor, and he was my guide, my role model. He was the person that kept me sane and guided me through this and helped me get through what happened to me. And we kept in touch. I got married at 21, and we kept in touch. We would, every couple of years, we'd update each other on how things were going. And he was still my guide. He was still my guidance. And then when my husband nearly died in a car accident, he was there and helping me through that. And I found out that he died the day before my birthday. And the reason I found out was because I sent him an email to update him on things. And his wife emailed me back and told me that she hated to add to my sadness, but he had passed away. And that made me feel really, really sad on top of everything else. And I kind of went into a depression, but I guess it was a depression, but I think it was just sadness. I think it was, I don't think it was a depression to where I needed to be on medication. It was just something that I needed to go through, because the sadness was really strong. So I had gotten communication with his wife and found out where he was buried at, and this weekend we're gonna go lay some flowers on his resting place. He was a really good man, and he was a really good role model, and he helped a lot of people. It wasn't just me. In his obituary, it said that after he retired, he was going to work part-time helping kids, and he ended up closing down because he couldn't charge anybody. He didn't have the heart to do it. And that's just the type of person he was. So anyways, I realized, as far as my daughter's concerned, that I did my job. I raised my daughter till she was a full-grown adult. She was in a good, loving home with two parents that loved her and told her every day she was beautiful, she was loved. I don't think we did anything wrong. I think in my mind, and talking over with my husband and other people that knows us, we had an amazing relationship until puberty. And they said that that's when the start of the mental illness kicked in, that the puberty caused the mental illness, which is common. But I think that being on top of the infertility makes it worse. Like, I was talking to my friend, and she said, if you had other children, you would be saying, oh, this kid is my problem child, kind of thing, It wouldn't be as effective, but I don't know. I'm not that type of person. I don't think I would do that, but that's, I can't say that. I can just, I know that she's hurting, and it makes me sad that she's hurting, and I know I could help her, but she doesn't want nothing to do with me. The last time I had she had to be admitted in the psych ward for a little while, and she was admitting herself, and she wanted me to sit with her, and it was a 3-hour long process, and she did not want me to touch her. She didn't want me to say anything to her. The only thing she wanted me to do was be in the room. And she was crying these big, sad puppy dog eyes, tears. And she didn't talk to me and tell me what it was, what was wrong. And I thought, well, the only thing I can do is just read a book. So I sat there and I read a child's book aloud. And all she did was just lay there and cry. And all I wanted to do was reach out to her and help her. But from the time she was 14, well, she started talking about this at 14. Every single day for years, she would say she wanted to die. She hated her life. Every single day, she wanted to die. She wanted to kill herself. And there's really nothing. I just kept getting her help. I kept taking her to doctors after doctors, pills after pills, institutions, and just. And then I realized that she was telling them that when she left, she didn't want help. She didn't want to see a counselor because they were going to set her up with a counselor, and she was just so over it because they weren't helping her. So anyways, that's my update. I think I'm past, I've turned a corner as far as where I'm at as far as depression or sadness. I think that I've realized that what's going on with my daughter is separate from the infertility. And I think I kind of like lumped them together because I was hurting. Because all I want is to be a mother. And my only child is not here for me to mother. And that, you know, like empty nest syndrome, stuff like that. And then as far as my weight goes, I do want to start doing some videos. Now, I don't know if anybody has seen this, but in a few days, I'm going to start doing my weight loss process. Right now, I am 315. Through here and through here, for some reason, it's very puffy. And I thought it was fat because when I thought this was just, but it's more puffiness than anything. And I got a thing that may help bring this puffiness down. It's a cold stone thingy that you rub on it. But it's not, what's it called? Thyroid. It's not thyroid. All my blood work is coming back good. So anyways, I'm gonna update my weight journey and everything's going on with that, and I'm gonna continue my video where I'm dressed up as a prisoner. My shirt is black and white, and I'm wearing a black and white prison hat. I think I did that about 2 years ago when I entered a contest to go to a weight loss thing in LA. They were going to fly people out. And so I was going to do that. I didn't win, but everybody really liked the concept because I feel like I'm a prisoner in this fat body. And I want to continue that because a lot of people reached out to me and told me that they feel the same way, they understand, and it helped them. And I think I'm going to do that. So I think maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks, I'm going to do like my plan is to have the black and white shirt, and you know how you have prison numbers? I think whatever my weight is, it'll be like prisoner 315, something like that. I'll figure something out. But anyways, that's my plan for one video, for the weight loss. And then I do want to start, I have been told since I've been, gosh, I don't know, most of my life, I'd say, okay, that I have a good voice. And I'm not talking about singing, I'm talking about a good speaking voice. And I really want to get into ASMR, but not the kind where you whisper and eat food, or I don't like that kind of whispering stuff. But I was trying to think of things that I could do, and I was thinking that I could read aloud what people, like their stories that they send me, their real life stories. Another thing that I'm interested in is dreams. People sending me their dreams, and I can read aloud their dreams and maybe give advice on it, that kind of stuff, you know. And I was thinking about doing that and seeing if that's something that it would be what I'd like to do. And then another thing I'm working on is I'm volunteering to voice books for the people that have a hard time hearing or that are deaf. And I'm starting that next week. I got to get the programming and stuff like that. So as I'm talking and as I'm narrating, that will help with the ASMR readings as well. I can't read books because they're copyrighted, but my channel's not monetized. I don't have enough people. But and then I thought, those are the ones I want to do. So okay, it's almost 30 minutes. I just wanted to catch everybody up on the sad news. On the good bright side, my husband and I just celebrated our 28th wedding anniversary, and we're going good. We're just having a hard time with fertility, and it's hard when we're both hurting in that way, and each of us has our own difficulties, and it's very frustrating. And I was asked the other day, well, why don't you go get marriage counseling? And so it's not about that. And our insurance doesn't cover fertility treatments or counseling for fertility, nothing fertility, right? They won't cover when he was in the car accident and he was having PTSD symptoms. They wouldn't cover him for that, because they said that that's something that the insurance companies need to deal with the car accident. Well, the girl wasn't covered. She didn't have insurance, so it just kind of left us in a kind of like fell through the cracks. But like I said, I don't think I don't think that what we're going through is like affecting our marriage, but we just know each other's hurting, as with any couple dealing with infertility would attest to. And it doesn't help that I'm 49, and it doesn't help that he's 48. So the other day I was told, just accept it and move on. Well, I'm still having my monthly visitor every time. My doctors say I'm fine. I'm losing weight. They really want me to get under the IBM of 40, which I'm like, I think I'm like 43. My IBM is 43, so really close to it. I can't wait to get under 300 pounds. That's another issue, another whole video. But anyways, I just wanted to update everybody. Thank you so much for the ones who care and message me and ask me how I'm doing. I'm really sorry that I just stopped making videos. It was hard. It was hard to not talk about what was going on and things going on in the background. Like, she would like slam the doors, or she would like throw a little fit at her age, and I didn't want that in the videos to explain that. And you know, dealing with my husband, I was taking care of my husband as well, and you know, so I just stopped making videos. It was easier for me to stop, even though I missed it. I do love making these videos. You can go back and look at some of my old videos, and my daughter's in them. And the very first video that I ever posted on YouTube, she's actually holding the camera. So there are some more videos coming up that I want to post, and I'm looking forward to it. And I also think I need it. It's given me a creative edge, and I like that idea. I need an outlet for that. Okay, bye. Hugs and loves.